This week on the Knitworthy podcast, knitting and spinning.
We also have prizes we're awarding.
I love prizes. Did I win one? Oh man. Help us find out what was going to happen with one of Mom's projects.
Yes, we need your information, or we need your input. And then lastly, a brand new project for us.
Yes.
And for you.
Join us this week on the Knitworthy podcast.
Happy New Year! Welcome to the Knitworthy podcast. We are so glad that you're here with us today.
We are.
Yes.
Do you know I have some really exciting news?
What is that? You're pregnant.
No.
You're going to make me a sister again.
No.
Oh, okay.
I told her I wanted to say something and she's like, Jesus, take the wheel.
It's true. It's totally what I said.
So this has really been a great holiday for me.
Okay.
It's the first holiday where I have lost weight over the holiday.
That's amazing.
Didn't happen.
Okay.
No. I lost a son though. Everything else went up, but I didn't lose it here, but I lost it here.
Well, we didn't lose a son. We gained a daughter-in-law.
Oh, that's true.
There you go.
So I gained weight all the way around is what you're saying now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that we had so many things happening
Oh my gosh.
during this break, didn't we?
Yes, and I'm sorry that we're a little bit late coming back to you when recording, but there was so much going on.
Yes, it was. And, you know, it's just one of those things in life. I'm sure they understand because they probably, you know, had some version of the same thing going on. So I'm not going to try and go and backtrack. Big highlight, of course, was wedding.
Yes.
Am I covered up or something?
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Fix my mic.
I didn't mean to make it look like I was looking at your chest or anything.
How are they?
No. Looking good. Looking good, ladies.
Oh, Lordy. We just went PG-13. But of course, the wedding was big news.
Yes.
And, lots of fun family things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the really short, in a nutshell thing. Do you have anything that you wanted to share that was especially meaningful to you this holiday, or that you'd like to make sure they know that happened for us, or?
I think just the biggest thing is that Evan has made a full recovery from his transient synovitis. He is back to running and jumping and playing and being an energetic 5-year-old boy. So that's like the best thing.
Isn't it?
Yes. He doesn't complain about his leg at all. And usually it's, if he asks for a pill to take, it's usually because he's seeing, Brian and I take a leave or something, for our headaches, or
he just wants to be with
whatever.
The crowd.
Exactly. He wants to be cool. And
Yeah.
I taught Ailish how to swallow a pill. So he's like, "Oh, Mom, I need pills." And I'm like, "No, you just want the M&Ms that we're practicing with. You don't want a pill."
Do you know, it does remind me of one thing that happened over a holiday that I thought was so funny.
What?
When things are stressful, I bet you can even name the candy that is my go-to stress thing.
Hot tamales.
Hot tamales.
Mm-hmm.
Hot cinnamon candy. And it has always been just something that settles me. I don't know. Is there something in cinnamon? It probably isn't even real cinnamon in it, but in my head, it works.
It's the placebo effect in action.
And so I had gotten a fresh box of hot tamales, and I dole them out like they're a red tab that looks a lot like a Tylenol. And so I was doling them out like medicine, and here's 2 for you. And Owen looked up at me. He goes, "No, thanks." Like, "Are you sure?" And he goes, "I don't want to take drugs, Dee." Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was so cute.
Yeah. He said that the same thing about, we have sparkling cider on like Thanksgiving morning and Christmas morning and New Year morning, and just those are the times that we tend to have it. And he was like, "I can't drink this because it's alcoholic." And I was like, "Honey, do you really think that I would give you anything alcoholic?"
We were doing the whole cheers thing, just having fun and playing it up. And he totally bought into the whole thing.
He was really, really concerned. He was very concerned.
Yeah. He was. So we had so many more cute moments, but it would take a whole podcast just to talk about all the fun things that happened.
I'm sure we'll be reminded of some and share more
I'm sure.
anecdotal stories.
Yeah.
But Mom, you are so cute today. What are you wearing?
Thank you. I'm wearing, help me. I looked at it, I had to
Right
look it up.
here.
The Artfully Simple Cowl.
Show notes are good.
I had to look it up. I keep saying this is the year I'm going to do my Ravelry notes so I can find the things I've made when it's
Yeah.
time to talk about them on the podcast.
Good plan.
Who knows if that'll happen. Don't hold your breath, people. But this one originally came with a button that was an adornment on it, but I just decided I liked it simpler. It's a crocheted cowl. It was quite popular for a period of time in the crocheted cowls section of Ravelry.
Okay.
It was a little farther down the list this time, but still popular.
Yeah.
And basically it is using these chains, connected chains, to create a cowl. This one was made out of a red heart and it was some sort of one of their boutique yarns. I'm forgetting which one. But I thought I'd give it a try today.
Yeah. I like the color on you.
Thank you.
Very pretty.
I could see it being a good spring cowl, and I refuse to admit that spring will be coming at some point because we have yet to get a good snow. So my head's not going to spring yet.
It's disappointing is what it is.
It is.
I blame you.
Why?
Because you prayed and prayed. Let there be no snow until Jared's wedding because we don't want people to get stuck. And now we have no snow, period.
Well, I just have one thing to say to that.
What?
Lord, help us win the lottery. I don't even play.
Yeah.
It's going to be a miracle if I win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I could totally see this done in a very lightweight yarn and have it be a good spring cowl for some of us who just enjoy a little covering around our neck or our necks, as the case may be, if you have several of them like I do. But also around here, we have a lot of air-conditioned places, and if you're used to a higher temperature in your home and outdoors, then you go into some place, it can feel like you're in Alaska.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's nice to have a little something in your bag that you can pull out when you need it.
Definitely.
So, yeah, you're looking at something I have mascara on.
No, you just have a hair right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, we didn't groom
We didn't
each
do
other
our
before.
grooming. We're like,
Exactly.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, and there's an eyelash.
I know,
and,
I'm sure I'm just a mess, a hot mess.
No, you're fine.
I need like the Palomar Mountain Observatory's telescope in order to see my face now without my glasses. Yeah. And so I have yet to acquire the telescope because it is currently aimed in the sky. But if I can find one, I'll eventually be able to do my makeup without your help.
Well, that's okay.
Big
Until
girl.
then,
Yes.
I'm at your disposal.
Well, all right.
Yes.
Well, what's on the agenda today?
I'd like to talk about my hat
Let's do it.
because I'm wearing it.
You should.
Yes, this is the Tupelo slouch that I finished, and it's very warm. And so I think that after I'm done talking about it in the
Is it going?
finished projects, it'll be going off my head.
You know, I have to say,
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt myself because I was already interrupting everyone else. But when I looked at you when we sat down together, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so beautiful with your eyes.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. I know, right? Don't do it. They'll all fall in love with you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You know, can I go back to Christmas one more time?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I don't know if they can see it. I'm wearing one of, sorry for the hair, but I am wearing one of 3 pairs of socks that Miss Brianne made for me.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, they are so beautiful. I will probably try to wear them on a podcast from time to time. What was this one made out of?
No clue.
Isn't it pretty?
I made it so long ago. I will look it up though and put it on the show notes.
What's the best angle? I mean, this is a good
It makes
look.
me want to smell it.
I really hope YouTube picks this photo to capture this podcast. Right? They always do the one where you're like,
Exactly. You know, the ones where like, you know, you're in the middle of a sneeze, you
Yeah.
know, or I don't know, whatever it is.
right. And they have caught a few where I'm like, ha, ha, ha. And you're like, huh?
Luckily,
That's real, though.
that is real. Luckily, they give you a couple to choose from, but they're never very good.
They're horrible.
It's really choosing the best of the worst.
There is a way for
sorry,
us to actually select a photo.
Yeah.
But I think we have to actually take a photo to put in there. And I think, maybe that would draw someone in just going, what the heck was that all about?
Right.
Right?
How did we get to that moment?
I just have to know why. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mom, let's talk
Yes.
about what we're working on.
Okay.
Because this is a crafting podcast. Let's talk about our
is.
crafts.
Always including the knitting. You know
Yes.
that. But there's always other things too. Well, among the millions of things I'm working on,
Yeah. Where to start?
no, I actually for the new year started a list of the different types of crafting. I haven't included all of them, but I think I'm adding more. Along with taking my medicine every day, my vitamins every day, and drinking lots of water, and all these good life choices that I'm trying to make, I added in there like charity knitting or charity crafting, and things for the Etsy store. Don't hate me. I know it's coming up again, the whole Etsy store thing, but I thought maybe someday I'll put something in it. So it's on the list to make me feel guilted into working on something. But I've added, I think I'm going to separate out some of my favorite crafting things because I would like to give some love to more of them as opposed to getting fixated on one and then moving on.
Yeah.
So that has nothing to do with this project.
Okay.
Shock.
Okay.
It's always just, it's like the roller coaster ride. You never know where you're going, do you?
That's true.
You think you're headed down, but all of a sudden they whip you around. And that's just how my brain is. I thought I would
You're so
reacquaint you with my mitered square blanket. And this one I decided I was going to do with all sorts of hand spun yarns, some commercial yarns. And I wanted to do it in more of a painterly fashion, let's say, where I was not trying to get the typical mixed up, everything going the same direction, but mixed up yarns. But I was trying to kind of paint with the yarns as I go. And so I started in the middle, and I'm just showing you half right now, just to give you an idea. I have some of these blocks doing different things on purpose. And I started adding some banding. I did a central square. That's the mitered squares. And then I decided that I wanted to break up the square pattern. And so I did some banding like you would do in the log cabin. I don't know if it's called something else in knitting.
Okay.
You did one of those blankets, right?
A log cabin blanket.
Yeah, and so I was adding on, just picking up stitches. Now what you will notice, and this is where I'm kind of stymied, and I'd like for you all to place a vote. I know that if I add some banding to this, that I can get, these will, once it's blocked, these will stretch out, but there will always be a bit of a bulge when you have such a great difference in, even though you're using the same needle size, if the yarns are different.
Different weight of yarn.
Right. It's like this one's packed tightly because it was a bigger fiber. And then you have others that are a thinner fiber with the same needle, and so they're real loose. And it just creates not exactly the most even of edges.
True.
And so I could continue and hope it all works out. Or I could just say, that was a nice experiment and I'm done.
Okay.
And I'm trying to decide, it was really fun to do, but I don't know if I want to expend any more effort on it. So let's hold it up.
Okay.
And it's not supposed to be even and uniform. I have all the tails hanging out here.
That's all right. I think it's beautiful.
Do you?
I do. I think if I were you,
Yes.
I think if you are at the point where you don't know that you want to expend any effort on it, any additional effort on it, you have a couple of choices.
Okay. What's my choices?
You either decide, I'm done with this in total, and I no longer want to work on it ever again, and I'm happy with the way it is now. Or you say, I am not sure that I am completely done with this project, I'd like to put it away for an extended period of time to be able to work on other things. And then maybe at some point I will have different feelings about this, like either that I'm done or that I would like to continue working on it. Because who knows, maybe at some point you'll say, I really want to work on that again.
Okay. So you vote for timeout.
I vote for timeout.
Is that okay?
To give yourself a little perspective.
Okay. Whoever's watching, would you put it in the thread for this show? If you vote for, I mean, it was really a fun experiment.
Yeah.
And so I'm really okay with actually just tossing it and going, okay, bye-bye.
Oh my
And
word.
it was a fun experiment, but, you know, so that's kind of where I am. So if you think I should toss it and move on and just be free of it.
Like actually throw it away?
Yeah. It's not really big enough to do anything with, is it? I mean, it's...
Well, I mean, it could be like a lap blanket or something for you while you're sitting down.
Here, one arm's covered. This is good. This half of my body, so toasty.
We could send it to Heather. Heather's like half the size of
she's
us.
tiny.
She is so petite.
Tiny people.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you know, give me a vote what you think. I'm sure a lot of you have had this happen.
Of
and
course.
you know, this is reality, right? Sometimes we dream of something and the dreams of it aren't as wonderful as when you're actually down there doing it. I really enjoyed the process and it was fun. But now it's getting to the point where it's getting a little wonky in places and I'm not really sure that that's what I'm comfortable with. So place your vote.
I have been there before in projects, and I think, you know, my vote, that's why my vote is to put it in timeout for a little while. And then if you decide that you are done, then you can be done.
Okay.
But
and bear in mind that I'm really trying to stash down.
sure.
And so the thought of putting it back in and not having it be completed feels also a little burdensome. But it could just be short-sightedness, and I don't want to be short-sighted either because there's a lot of time already in this. And there's a lot of really fun yarns that I enjoyed knitting with that have nice memories for me. You know, my first fleece that I prepared by hand and washed and everything. And
That's got handspun. That's my handspun right there.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So I think I will do what you say. For now, it's going to be in timeout. But please vote, and we'll see if you support Brianne or if you think something else should happen.
This is like American Idol.
I know, right? I found it. This is a little skein of.
Do you vote for Brianne, who
I know,
says to
right?
keep it and put it into timeout, or do you vote for Linda, who says to
Right.
throw it in the trash?
Should we have a number for them to call?
Yeah, we should.
Don't say 911.
No, don't do it.
They really don't care what happens. Anyway, okay, so that is one which took forever to tell. So
That's
this
okay.
one's going to be short. I worked on my stripy Christmas socks.
Yay.
And I passed the heel on the first sock.
That's
Just working
great.
on cuffs, so I didn't want to bring it on to have more and more and more to show you. But I haven't showed Multnomah in a long time.
You haven't. You're making good progress on it.
Let's show it this way. I'm in the lace repeats. I have just a couple more. Is this as big as you thought it would be, or do you think it gets heavily blocked?
I think it gets heavily blocked.
Because it looks like right now.
It's like a
little
handkerchief.
Merry Christmas.
You know, I think it gets heavily blocked, but I
Okay.
don't know that it's supposed to be like a huge mammoth shawl. I think it's more of like
Yeah.
a shawlette.
Kind of like wingspan is more of a little something around your neck as opposed to being a full-on
Yeah.
shawl. So
And you know, I'm just going to go ahead and say that I had a project that I ripped out because it was going to be a little tiny shawlette. And I'm not a little tiny shawlette person because I'm not, it looks way out of proportion.
well, if
for me-
I can do it sometimes if I'm wearing a lot of layers of other things. But to just have on a shirt and this postage stamp size thing around my neck emphasizes.
Hold on, let me fix this. Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Right. Big man in a little coat. That's a Tommy Boy reference.
Yes.
When he's putting on his little friend's coat.
That's right. And then he totally ends up ripping it.
Yes. Many other things I've been working on. Lots
You've
of
been busy.
artsy things. I'm going to save all of the art things for after the show's over if you want to see what I've been doing on some. And I only did a few just because it's been a long period of time. I didn't want to show everything I've done.
I think that we need to call the segment where we talk about other crafts, Crafters Gotta Craft.
Crafters gotta craft. They do.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they do. Don't stop us.
Don't ever.
Don't think about it.
I think they're scared right now.
Yeah.
Move on.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the things that I'm working on. Are you done talking about your
I'm totally
things?
done. I'm excited to hear what you're working on.
So the first thing that I'm going to talk about are my autumn rainbow socks. This is in my Stitch by Jessa Lou bag, which I love. It's one of the very first like craft knitting bags that I ordered for myself, and it's so cute with little, white and green and blue sheep, which are, green and blue are my favorite colors. So I just, love that bag. But
You don't have to justify it with us, honey.
okay.
It's really okay that you
Thanks.
have that bag. You feel better?
I have a lot more.
Her self-esteem's a little damaged right
It's-
now, so she needs some reassurance. It's really okay.
Okay. We've been talking about self-esteem a lot in this house lately.
We have.
It's just not gonna lie. Real moments with the Knitworthy people.
That's right.
All right. So these are my autumn rainbow socks. The last
love
time you
them.
saw them, they were right here, and I was getting ready to start my heel
Oh my
flap
goodness.
and the toe up heel flap. So I finished that.
beautiful.
Yay! And then, Star Wars is out.
What?
Episode 7. You may have heard that. I don't know.
I didn't hear about it until opening night,
Oh, really?
and I saw like someone did a Periscope, and I thought it was like a parody. So like I totally turned it off, and then later I heard it really was opening night. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, stink!
Oh, how funny.
Could have seen it live.
Well, so I went with Brian. Mom was very sweet and watched the kids for Brian and I so we could have a date. And I was like, I need to get this to the toe, past the toe, so I can just have, straight knitting to do while I'm watching Star Wars. And it was so good that I didn't even pull out my knitting. Can you believe that?
So good that you had a repeat performance, didn't
The
you?
very next night, we're halfway through the first time we saw it. Brian goes, I want to see this again. I was like, me too. And so the very next night, Dad invites us to go with him, and so Mom watched the kids again. And which, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That was very sweet of you. And so I pulled out my knitting, and I was able to get, that much done in the time that we were. That's probably about 2 inches.
But you didn't do any knitting the first time, did you?
I did no knitting the very first time we
Yeah.
saw it because I was just so amazed and sucked into this wonderful
Yeah.
movie. And so it was a joy and a pleasure, and I enjoyed it. And Brian was like, you knit nothing while we were watching that. He was so shocked.
He did. He announced at the table. He goes, Brian did not knit during that.
I know.
We're like,
And I
that must be good. And
I
John
knit
says,
during
I'm
everything.
going if Bree's not knitting during a movie.
Exactly. That's how we judge if things are good or not. No, I knit even during really good things.
Yeah,
but
you do.
I knit during everything.
Why don't you put that one with it?
Oh yeah. Oops. May want the first sock.
It's how I add to my stash, though. She leaves a sock behind to go, mine.
That's right. And dibs. The other thing that I have to show you this beautiful, beautiful bag that my dear friend Stephanie of Hot Pink Socks Reviews sent to me. And she made this bag. It is out of
Yeah.
a sweater.
Is it not gorgeous?
So I'm going to hold this up a little bit closer so you can see.
But not loosey-goosey sweater.
No.
It's been there's interfacing or something that stabilizes it. And so it just has this sweatery but also substantial feel to it.
Yes.
It's not stiff, but it just
No.
feels just so wonderful.
And there's the inside fabric,
Show
which
them the
I
bottom,
love.
too.
Even the bottom is adorable. Look at
Yeah.
that.
So do we not think she should do more?
She's actually going to be opening up an Etsy store coming up. She's
We're totally outing her if she's not.
I know, right?
You're
no
opening
pressure.
up an Etsy store.
She's having gallbladder surgery on Monday, though, so
dear.
I don't think it's going to
Not
happen.
Monday.
No, don't look for it on Monday. It's not
Monday
gonna be
afternoon or Monday evening, but not Monday morning.
there. Stop it.
Poor thing. She's like, what?
Yeah, you know, the person who doesn't even have their Etsy store open is not allowed to pressure the person who's having gallbladder surgery into opening up an Etsy store.
I know, right?
Okay.
It's like every January we have this discussion
Yeah.
too. Should I open the Etsy store or not open the Etsy store? I'm like, totally
Yeah. Pot, kettle, black. That's all I'm saying.
did not just say that.
I totally went there. So when I got this bag from Stephanie, which I love, and Evan is just, he is drawn to this bag. He just wants to touch it because I wish you could feel it.
Yeah.
It's so soft. And he's like, he was very concerned last night. He goes, did she really cut up a sweater to make that?
He's imagining her knitting a sweater and then cutting it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, she did. And he was like, please don't send any of my sweaters to her. And I was like, I don't think we need to worry about that.
That would be a really fun thing if you had made a sweater for a child and they no longer needed it or fit into it. It would be really fun to make a bag out of it, wouldn't it?
I'm tempted to do that with Owen's flax sweater because you remember that green sweater that I made him?
Yeah.
He has never worn it, not even once.
After he had to have a green sweater.
After he had to have a green sweater, and I spent like
Yeah.
months knitting on this thing. And it's, you know, this big grown man sweater
Yeah,
because
it
he's
is big
basically
size,
a
yeah.
big grown man child. Anyways, inside my bag.
Once again, tears. It's going to be a tearful episode.
I had to, of course, you know, with a new bag, cast on something brand new. And so I picked out this Schoppel Crazy Zauberball. It's das Original.
It's like you were trying to decide if you're going to go for an accent or not.
I was trying to decide.
Try it again. It was so much joy for me. Come on now.
I don't know if I can do it with a straight face.
Come on now. Try
Okay.
again.
Schoppel Crazy Zauberball. Das Original. Don't
You
ever
could be-
let me do.
You could be a voice actor, is all I can say.
Yes.
Right? You could work in Germany right now.
Absolutely. Of course, this is the only thing I could say. That and 9. Which means no. And I think that's pretty much it.
You know, maybe that's all you need.
I bet that's it. That's the start to my international career.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The woman of many faces.
There you go.
Many voices. So here's what it looks like in the ball. And you're not actually supposed to pull from the inside of the ball.
Serious?
Yeah, you just let it go from the outside. But look at those colors, the green.
So pretty.
And here's what it looks like knitted up.
Love it.
And so I have
Gorgeous.
this. And I have my yarn in for my forethought, afterthought heel, which I've heard is called a peasant heel.
Really?
When you put the yarn in beforehand, and then, you know, you just take the yarn out when you're ready to do the afterthought heel. I've heard it called a peasant heel.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not so royal as I thought.
What did you think it was before?
I don't know.
The Queen of Heels?
Yes. Yeah.
Your Majesty, the heel. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that is such great information.
Thank you very much.
Let's all write that down, shall we?
Would you please? It'd make me feel a lot better. Okay. And so what have you finished?
Many things.
Okay.
All right,
What would you
this-
like to show us that you finished?
Well, I wanted to start with, this was during the holidays especially, I'm like, okay, I need to get some projects done and out of the studio because I will fess up, I have stuff on the floor of my studio even,
Okay.
and you've seen it.
I have.
As I got mid-organization and then stopped before the holidays quite a ways and never have picked up because putting away a million little somethings, you know, it's like the beading part of my stash. That's where I got stopped. All of the little bits and findings and things that have to do with jewelry making.
Oh, yeah.
So
I don't actually do jewelry making, so I'm just imagining, but wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I can't handle the thought of putting away 5,000 little things, but I should get some of the big things out.
Yeah.
So I had started a long time ago. Flowers in the Snow, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put it like this over Brianne's face because it appears that's the magic spot.
You can't see, but I'm making faces at you.
And this was done with woolies
Okay.
in lots of different colors. And I love it. I finally decided I had all the pieces made for the last row because I decided I wanted like one strip wider.
Yeah.
And so I had them all made and I just sat down and spent an entire day weaving in ends and actually probably more than a day because I decided also to add a border to finish it off with. So you want to hold it up and out.
do.
They are all random. The pattern's lovely. Hopefully that shows. But I made it with colors that I love, which often fall in the fall season, which is no
So
surprise,
pretty.
right? But let's toss it over here. We'll just put it on the back of the hoochie here. That's backwards, but oh well.
Okay.
Anyway, that got finished.
Yay!
Yay me!
Good for you.
Right?
Yes.
I also decided I wanted to make a Zuzu's petals.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can see right here. I used also, again, woolies.
Okay.
And so, which tells you why it's not blocking so well. Woolies does contain acrylic. Not as great for, I think it's just the acrylic part of it that makes it not block so well. But I used a smaller needle size because I didn't have the right size needle. And so I have decided this is for Ailish.
Okay.
Right? Would be good for her.
Yes, because I was going to ask you, can you fit that over your head?
It looks like Big Man in a little coat is what it looks like. But it's adorable. It was a really fun knit. I'd never done a Zuzu's petals before.
Yeah.
And really I made it just because I wanted the experience of making it.
Sure.
And I could see possibly making one again. It's just I'd want to make sure the neck was a little bigger so I could actually get over my head. I did get it on, but it was like the tightest turtleneck ever.
It's like a birthing experience.
It was. Rebirth. Oh, a new world. A whole new world. Yeah. So Ailish, I think this will be nice for her to tuck under. She loves playing outdoors.
She does.
And she doesn't have to worry about losing it because Zuzu's Petals is all about being a cowl and a scarf.
Yes.
So anyway, it was very fun, and I did very well on the pattern. Can you believe it? I think
I'm so
there's
proud
only
of
just
you.
a few mistakes.
It looks like lace and there's stuff that's going on. It's not just garter stitch, and I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Good job.
Awesome. For the record, I have to say that neither one of us can see the monitor at this point, and so we may be holding things in our lap and you're like, I'm gonna see it, so I'll try and remember to lift it up because it appears the little bit I can see that it has to be up higher.
Okay.
So let's try and remember that.
All right.
So I'm just going to give this to you for Ailish.
Okay.
I also
put it
did
right here?
spinning.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to talk about, for those of you who may remember, our one amazing periscope.
It was legendary.
It was legendary. It may be a single only child thing. Just because now I've been getting all these little whistles from Periscope and they're totally driving me nuts.
Oh, really?
And I'm thinking that Periscope may not be a good venue for me just because I think it's a little bit, I don't know. We're going to look for something else besides Periscope, I think.
All right.
But on the one amazing Periscope that we did, you all selected this lovely yarn. I'm sorry, I'm shedding. This one amazing yarn right here. Would you mind
Beautiful.
holding it, Brianne?
Of course.
And I'll tell them about it. This is Purple Goddess Design, which I have had her pastries, which are delightful. And she also does great dyeing. And this is called Night Vision, and it is 100% superwash merino.
Very nice.
And I forgot to count yardage.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
That looks like what, like a DK?
looks like DK to me. So here's the deal.
What's the deal?
I had so much fun spinning it, and now I would like to gift it to someone in our audience.
Okay.
And so just so you all know, we have made an executive decision that this next year we are going to try very hard to not have to mail off
Yes.
prizes.
In 2016.
In
Not in 2017.
Sorry, 2016. Well, I was floating back to 2015 when I said that. 2016, we're going to try very hard not to do a lot of mailing just because we decide it's not our favorite. Yeah. Which makes an Etsy store kind of a stupid idea because we both hate mailing things. I don't know what I can make that doesn't have to be mailed. Wishes. Buy my wishes. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But this one I will gladly mail it off. We will use it in our upcoming contest that we're going to be talking about at the end.
Okay.
And so someone else can have the joy of making something out of it, right?
Will you
Which
count
will be
yardage
fun.
for that person?
No.
Okay.
They'll just get to imagine what it is.
Okay.
Make something. It's 4 ounces of something in DK.
That's right. There you go.
You can get actually, if you look online, say 4 ounces of DK, how much yardage, it'll give you an estimate, and that'll be close enough.
Okay. That sounds good.
So there you go for the
Okay.
prize thing, but I will mail it off, but I want to make sure we don't forget to give it away.
That goes very well with Ailish's Zuzu's petals. I could make her some mittens. I hope I win.
You could win. And I got a lovely gifted, a random act of kindness.
Yeah.
From the lovely Peggy. I believe I
Wonderful.
showed it before.
You did.
And it was yarn in her, I'm going to forget the name of it. She has a lovely yarn that goes from blues, all different blues, into oranges. Now, you have to remember that when I'm doing like these gradients, it looks more mixed up. It's not going to knit up mixed up. It's going to be banded more.
Mm-hmm.
And so it has blues and grays and then the orange, which is a big favorite.
Yeah.
I have another 4 ounces of this. No, this is 2 ounces. I have another 2 ounces for a total of 4 ounces. So I'll have enough. This is going to be made into something for me.
Wonderful.
Not sure
Can
what.
I feel?
Yes, of
That
course.
is so soft.
Yeah.
It looks incredibly soft, but it feels just as soft as it looks.
Yeah.
So look really good. Feel the screen. It's that soft.
Totally.
Wouldn't even lie.
Yeah. So that was really fun. Spinning's a very relaxing activity, and so I really enjoyed spinning it. Peggy is very gifted in her dyeing, and if you can ever take a class from her, she's going to be at Fiberfest this year in Colorado Springs. Not Colorado Springs. Is it Loveland, Colorado?
Okay.
And that's a big international show. National show? I don't know. It's big. And it's only the second year they've actually done the show there. And so she's been on it from the ground level. So if you're going to be there, make sure you try and take a class from her because she's really good.
Yeah.
And the last thing.
You've been busy, woman.
I know, right? Part of my, and I didn't even tell them all the other things. I made a pair of slippers and a what was it? The other thing I made for Gary Kariba.
Oh, yeah. The slippers and a scarf.
Slippers and a scarf for a college-age gentleman who asked me to knit something for him.
This is the big deal.
Pretty sure we all should marry him. Right?
He
Anyone who
appreciates hand knits.
Yeah. I was like, he said, could I have that before I go on my trip? And his trip was like the next week.
Not even the next week. It was like within like 5 days.
He had no idea what he was asking.
And so Mom like panics, and the next day she's like, "Can you go to Michael's?
I know.
I need Michael's now. Colors."
It was like the Michael's addicts. Michael's stat.
Yeah. I was pushing and shoving my way through. Michael's like, I gotta go.
Yeah. It was so sweet, though. I just had to make his dreams come true. So
Yeah.
I worked like a maniac and got it done for him to take on his trip.
You're so sweet.
So, hey, he was adorable. What can I say? So, that's just some of the other things. And there's more. I don't know. It was just one of those really prolific times. It was,
Yeah.
I think a lot of it was helping me relax because it was a bit stressful for me with all the stuff that had to be done. So,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know, right? So then I found this yarn that I had gotten for another project. I think I'd actually gotten it. Who knows? I think I'd gotten it as a sample to see if I wanted to make a sweater out of it years ago.
Okay.
Which I do love it. And of course, I did not keep the thing that tells me what it is. It's Cascade
why would you?
220 in the heathers, and that's all I know. It looks like oatmeal to me.
It does.
And this is the Knit Night hat.
That is super cute. I love
Yes.
this detail.
I hope that they're able to see it, because I just think that that banding is so pretty. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, because it's a pattern that you should go and check out yourself. And here's how it comes together. It is a slouchy hat. Now, I made the hat 1 inch. You know, they tell you to knit until it is a measurement from the cast on edge to, you know, like you're supposed to make it so many inches, and then you start the decreases. Well, I stopped my hat 1 inch before they said to stop it, because I did not want an overly slouchy hat. And I didn't think it was overly slouchy in the picture, but I've just noticed sometimes when I make a hat according to, I'm trying to see where I joined it. Sometimes when I make a hat according to the directions, when it's slouchy, it's a little too slouchy for me.
Yes.
So I have a tiny braid, so
No.
tiny head covering. But I wanted to show you. I don't know, how does
that's
this look?
so cute. Yes.
Isn't it fun?
Yes.
It's not too slouchy for me.
No.
So can you see in the back?
Yeah.
Now an
Very
inch. I don't know
cute.
that an inch would have done anything bad.
No.
But
But I like it the way it is now. I think
I
you
do
made a
too.
good decision.
let's see if they can see it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Brianne, you turn sideways and they can compare slouchies.
Okay, here.
And yours is called what?
Tupelo slouch.
And mine's Knit Night. Okay? There you go. There's your comparison. And you have a fancy brim.
Yes.
I have a fancy brim. And then you have a banding of beautiful cables that runs the length. Mine doesn't. And that was to my liking, because the band was enough. And then I could just knit on the rest and not have to worry about thinking of anything. They show it with a really pretty, like a shawl pin here.
Oh, yeah.
And I just about made one for it, but I just decided to wait and see what I was going to do with it. I wanted a hat to go with a cowl that I have, and I think this will make a nice one. But I thought I'll wait and get the cowl on and then put the hat on, see if I think it needs one. But I'd like to make a little swirly metal shawl pin.
Ooh.
That,
Very nice.
my friend, is all I'm talking about.
Wow.
Well, not all. That's a lie.
She'll be talking more.
Yes.
Don't worry.
That's just the knit projects.
Never fear.
I'm sure they were like, oh, say it ain't so.
That's right. Well, so this is my Tupelo slouch
Love.
that I finished, and as Mom pointed out, it has.
sorry.
That's okay.
Totally outing your project.
It has that band that goes up the top that you start down here. I don't even know if I'm pointing in the right direction, but there you go. It goes up. And I'll take it off. I probably have horrible hat head now. Hat hair.
Okay, hold your ears for a minute, because I have to take this scarf off. I'm so hot. I can't stand it.
That's why I took this off. So here you go. Here is the Tupelo slouch, which I saw from Kathy from England, who we decided was the only Kathy in England.
Yes, the Kathy.
The Kathy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a really great find.
And this is, the yarn is Unwind Yarn Company. Dana of Unwind you can find her on Ravelry and Instagram, and of the Just One More Row podcast, she and Brittany host, which is an audio
It's a
podcast.
beautiful tonal.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
This is the Until We Meet Again. And this is in her Erin, I believe. I can't remember. But anyways, so here you go. I'm so pleased with this. This is actually the maiden wearing of this hat. It's like the maiden voyage, but the maiden wearing of it.
Okay.
Oh. Exactly. And now we're going to break the champagne open. So I'm very excited. We're supposed to be possibly getting some snow in tomorrow.
Serious?
A little bit in the morning. So the kids are wanting to go out and play. So hopefully, I don't know, we'll see. I might be able to wear this when we go out.
I'm really shedding all over.
That's
Sorry.
all right. Another thing that I finished is I finished my socks. The reason that I only have this to show you is because I gifted these socks. I got a picture of it, which we can put in the show notes or in the slideshow afterwards. But I gifted these to Victoria, who is our
Oh,
grandmother's
yay.
caregiver, who comes after my cousin Ashley and I are done taking care of Peepa. That's what we call her. Not Victoria, my grandmother. That's what we call my grandmother.
I'm being confused. Who do you call what?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Who's on first?
Right.
Uh-huh. And she saw me finish them and was so excited, and she said, well, could I touch them? And I was like, of course. And so then, I said, well, why don't you try them on? And so she tried them on, and they fit beautifully.
Oh, yay.
And I said, well, why don't you just keep them? And she's like, I can't do that.
She's just learning how to crochet, so she
She is.
understands how much work this stuff is.
Yes. And so I insisted. I'm like, you have to keep them. I didn't have anyone in particular that I was making them for, except kind of maybe for me. But I was very willing to give them up to her because she is so good with Peepa and is such a sweet, kind, loving person. And I'm so thankful for her because she takes such a load off of my mind.
She really treats her like we treat her.
Yes.
And that is such a wonderful thing to have in a caregiver, someone who has the same heart for your loved one that you do.
Absolutely.
Really looking out for her.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I finished is a blanket. Owen's oncologist
Yes.
had a baby boy, and I made, when she had her little girl 2 years ago, I made her little girl a pair of socks. And so this time I'm upping the ante, and I made a blanket.
are. Did you wish you had made socks by the time you were done
Yes.
with that?
So it's basically taking Grandma's favorite dishcloth.
I need to get something while you're finishing
Okay.
that.
I basically took the Grandma's favorite dishcloth pattern and made it into a blanket just by making it huge. So here we go. This is what it looks like. And I don't know the exact measurements, but it's big. It used 3 skeins of this universal yarn Uptown worsted. It says knit, relax, smile, repeat. So that's what I did. And let's see, 180 yards per skein, and it's 100% acrylic. So it says to use a size 8. I actually used a size 10.5 for this project, a US size 10.5 needle, because I wanted it to be really drapey. And I think that was very much accomplished.
I love that because it really makes it very squishy feeling. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel dense at all.
Yes.
It's very, that's going to be we hear people call it lovey.
Yeah.
Where they're just something they want to carry around and snuggle with. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, Dr. Fields, if there is anyone in this world who is knitworthy, it is Dr. Fields.
Yeah.
I mean, she is amazing and wonderful, and I am forever in her debt for everything that she and her, I'm going to cry, for everything that she and her team have done for our family.
Yes.
So,
means so much.
it does.
Yeah.
So, any subsequent children, I will knit for them too. But we won't see her again after October. So
That's a wonderful problem to have.
it is a wonderful problem to have. Yeah. So anyways, blanket done. And that's it. That's all that I have for this. I do have some Gilding the Lily. Would you like to help me display that?
Sure.
Okay. Because I had in my cart for quite a while some stray cat, in my Etsy cart I should say, some stray cat socks yarn, and I used my birthday money to purchase some stray cat socks yarn. And so I have these 3. So would you help me
Yes.
open
I
and
just
display?
remembered one thing I need to look up. So can you start?
Yes, I will start.
And let me get the name I need
Okay,
here.
so first of all, look at this adorable box that they come in. I mean, talk about adorable packaging. Okay. And here's the back. Okay. She's out of New Zealand, and so the yarn was very reasonable. the shipping, that's why I ended up getting 3 instead of fewer skeins of yarn, because I felt the shipping, you know,
Oh, yeah.
if you're going to ship from New Zealand, you might as well ship a few. So this one is called Electric Avenue,
Love.
which is a gray and like this kind of mustardy yellow and a tealy blue color.
Gorgeous. And it's looking, it's a little bit, it has a little bit more orange in the gold in person. On the screen, the little bit I'm seeing, it looks more yellow gold. So
Now, so that one was called Electric Avenue, which makes me want to sing a song. There's a
I know.
the 80s song. Yeah.
oh yeah.
And this one is going to be a Christmas present for Heather next year.
Oh, fun.
Because look at the name.
Hopeful Heather.
Hopeful Heather. And so Heather and Spencer, which Heather's my sister and Spencer is my brother-in-law, they are hoping to adopt another baby or child in the coming year. And so every time I work on these socks, I'm going to pray.
I love that. Yeah. And she's going to love that.
I need to quit crying about stuff, for
That's
Pete's
okay.
sake.
I know. Meaningful things, though.
Yes, meaningful things. Okay, so, but look at this. It's like a deep royal purple, a beautiful lavender color, and a bright green. And I love that color combination. I think it's so beautiful. So that's the second color that I got. And then the third color, I found this. Now my very favorite Christmas carol is Oh Holy Night.
Aw.
So when I found a yarn called Oh Holy Night, I had to get it.
Beautiful.
It reminds me of my Bappa, and it's my very favorite carol. And so it's like a cream color and like a hunter green and that royal purple again, and it's beautiful. So these will probably be something that I knit up next year.
What a neat box it came in, too.
Isn't it fun?
It is.
I love it.
She
So
really-
it keeps it safe. But that's a lot of thought to put into packaging.
A lot of thought in packaging, yeah.
Yes. I love that it says contains yarn.
Not a cat.
No.
Don't worry.
So you don't need to worry that there's a cat
Though
in
there
here.
is ventilation. So.
Yes, but I like that you can see what color it is through there.
Uh-huh.
The other thing that I got was through the Instagram hashtag Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted. At that point, I did not have, I had not purchased the yarn for this, and I wanted a festive holiday yarn.
Yay.
And so someone granted my wish and gave me this Knit Picks Felici in the cheer colorway, which makes me think of a candy cane, of course.
It's beautiful.
And so, or I could use these even for Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah. I'd wear them all year long.
Yeah,
Personally.
for sure. So I'm going to be probably casting these on pretty soon too, because I want to get a head start on.
Good idea.
I really need some socks.
Yes. Because you
I'm in
gave me
need.
3 pairs.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving them back because I love them.
I gave Brian 2 or 3 pairs. I gave you
3.
3. So
You were a prolific sock knitter.
yeah,
For
I was
gifts.
busy this year.
Mm-hmm.
So shall we talk about contest winners? Because we
Let's
had
do
a
it.
contest.
We did.
Okay. So let's see. We have our Hopeful Holidays contest winners that we had 3 prizes.
Good. Mm-hmm.
And which I was very excited to be able to choose through random number generator. And our winners are number 66, which is Swagco. She wins the crochet hook, and she's a crocheter.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Okay.
And her husband crochets too.
Really?
Yes.
How cool. Well, that's
Yeah.
a perfect family for it to go to.
Yes.
And I just wanted to give a shout out. They didn't ask for a shout out, but they're such sweet people. Please go check out their Etsy shop, Unraveled You, EWE, that kind of you. And it's Jean and Tammy.
Yes.
Wonderful people. And they just had a heart to give us a prize. So we're going to connect the two of them together so they can get the size hook they want. And if they want something engraved on it, they can let them know. But they, the hooks are beautifully made and they're ergonomic. And I love them. I made another thing I haven't talked about, a shawl that I sent off to Heather.
Oh, good.
With one. I'm going to make one for myself.
Oh, good.
And I'm going to use that hook again.
Well, excellent.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Well, then I want you to get in touch with Mama Linda.
Yes.
So that she can put you in touch with Jean and Tammy.
Yes.
Yes. The other two winners, the first one was 262, which is SAJE Hill. When you win the mini mochi.
Oh, fun.
So here we go. This is the yarn that we will be sending off to you. You can contact me via PM on Ravelry. And then also...
Love those colors.
Yes. Our last prize is the Lorna's Laces. And that goes out to number 5, which is Lady Bow Hunter WT.
Ooh.
Yes.
She's a bow hunter, huh?
A lady bow hunter.
Wait a minute. Do you think she does this kind of bows or this kind of bow?
Maybe she's always in search for beautiful bows for her grandkids, her kids.
Let us know.
Yeah, tell us. So that's it. And we have a new endeavor that we are starting upon that we want to talk about.
Okay, so don't go anywhere.
No.
I gave up all of my alternate crafting time, like there's an assigned amount, because I wanted to do something different this year.
Okay.
And I wanted to combine some of my loves, because it's all about me apparently.
Right.
And what I wanted to do, we came up with the name, the Knitworthy Project Craft.
Yes.
We need to like dun, dun, dun.
Well, it's not like scary.
Oh, it's not scary, but it needs to be like a big deal.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Exactly. So some of you may have heard of Project Life is a way of documenting your life, right?
Yes.
So this is Project Craft. Therefore, we are documenting our crafting life. All right. So here's the deal. I'm going to read it. I would have printed it out, but I couldn't connect with my printer this morning. So I'm just going to read it out so I don't forget anything. Join the Knitworthy girls as we have some fun crafting our way into the new year. All right, so that's what we're doing, and we're documenting our crafting life. I won't read all of this, but I'm going to read the important stuff. So here's the deal. We don't know how long we're going to do this for. A lot will depend on you if you're interested and if you participate. So I don't want to say we're going to do it for a year and 3 people do it. You know.
Please, more than 3 people join us.
More than 3 people. Yes. So, and the plan is to give away more prizes. Like this last time, our contest took about a month. Was that correct? Or was it more than a month?
3 months.
It took 3 months. I knew that.
Yes.
So I want to be giving away prizes this time for a while every time we podcast. Okay. Now I'm not saying this is going to go a year because it depends on budget too and what I can manage. So I don't want to like get myself in the hole because of prizes, but it's going to be so fun. Yay. All right. So here's the deal. You are going to create a craft journal. Now I'm holding up my journal from last year that I used just for, I ended up at the end of the year using it for, I would each week ask the family a question and by text. They would text back their response and then I would put it in here. And so this is just a composition notebook. I'm just showing, and the idea is I want you to end up with a really fun book full of your crafting stuff. I want you to glue things in here. I want you to put projects that you're thinking about doing. I'm always losing the tags of my yarn.
Yeah.
And I thought if I just put a project page on here and stapled my tag to it, when it's time to fill out my Ravelry thing, I'd have it.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
So the important thing is not that you see this particular journal, but that you get the inspiration to say if I continued this through the year of just playing along with the contest, I'd have a really fun thing I could pass along to my kids, or I would just have it for myself to say, what a fun year it was this year, and look at all the things I did, and I think sometimes for podcasting, we have more of a sense of what we produce.
Yes.
Because we are producing for deadlines. We're trying to get things on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you, half the time I start getting out the things I've done and go, wow, I did a lot. No idea. I had no idea I did it.
Uh-huh.
And so I think there's probably a lot of people like that, but it doesn't matter if you are a prolific crafter or if you only craft for an hour on Saturday kind of thing. It's not about that. This is just about exploring this area of your life. For many of us, crafting is such a relaxing thing, or it's something that maybe we have a job that's totally opposite of our nature. And we're dealing with numbers all day, but we're really all about color. And we love soft, fuzzy things, or we love painting, or whatever it is that we love, weaving. And so it's a way to feed that part of us that is nurtured by creative endeavors. Okay? So this crafting project is going to be any kind of crafting, creative thing that makes your heart happy. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Brianne, would you show the composition notebook? Because as I talk, I just want you to see, I got this at Target for was it 50 cents or something when it was school time. But you don't have to use this book. But Brianne and I have one for you too.
Okay.
Okay, after this is over, we are going to do a short tutorial on how we're going to alter ours.
Okay.
Okay?
That scares me.
I know, right? This is all about new things, right?
New things.
And so we are just going to do a really short one to show how we're going to alter it, but do whatever you want. Okay? So the first thing you're going to do before we podcast next is you're going to create a project craft journal. All right? For this challenge we're taking on. So you can use a composition notebook like we are and follow our tutorial, or you can just use whatever you have on hand, any kind of a notebook, any kind of a spiral, a tablet. You can even just put together junk mail. People take a lot of empty envelopes sometimes, and a lot of us will pay by online anyway. And so if you have any junk mail envelopes, just staple them together, and that could be your journal if you really don't want to spend money. I don't want you to go into debt for this. So just whatever you have on hand, some notebook paper, whatever, staple it together, paper clip it. All right? Get it ready. Okay? We're gonna decorate ours because we want to really enjoy going to it. This does not thrill me very much, does it you?
No.
Do you say, oh, I want to write in that? Yeah. So make it something that you really enjoy. I think I'm getting low on power. Okay, and then we are going to have a spot in our show notes where you can download the challenges. All right, it's a sheet of paper that has numbered challenges. Brianne and I, are going to use the random number generator to decide what we're doing. That'll be fun.
Yes.
But this week, our goal will be just to make our book. And Brianne, we're going to start ahead of time. You guys can start if you want to, but we're going to for sure do setting some crafting goals.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
And it's challenge number 1.
Okay.
So we're going to start challenge number 1, and then from then on, we'll be doing random number generator.
Okay.
Now, the way you win, first of all, you can choose as many or as few challenges as you like. And the way you win is you're going to post on the thread.
Okay.
Every month we'll have a new thread. Okay.
All right.
And so if you post your project page that has your challenge on it, documentation of your challenge, you get a bigger prize than if you just chat about the challenges other people are doing. But both things can win a prize. So be sure and encourage one another. Talk about what you're doing, and we're not all doing the same challenge, so it should be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Okay, and we will choose, the next time we podcast, we will choose a winner. So if only 3 people have posted, someone's going to win. Okay?
That makes pretty good odds for you.
Yes, and you can only win once in a month, but you could win every month. I mean, that's possibly a deal. Now, let's just say we have 500 people. Let's think big.
Yeah.
500 people in a month participate. We'll give away more than one prize.
Yes.
But for now, we're just doing one prize every time we podcast. If we podcast 2 times in a month, you have 2 chances to win in the same thread. Is this all making sense?
Yes.
You can do one project. You can do a million projects. it's just every time you post, you're getting more chances.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
And it's going to be everything from something serious, like setting goals for crafting, or it's going to be silly things. I have some really fun stuff that I think would be really fun to try.
Yeah.
Okay? So that is where we're starting with this.
Sounds fun.
And it's going to be a gift certificate form.
Yes.
So the small prize, if you are only chatting and your post number is chosen from the random number generator, you will win a Ravelry pattern of your choice.
Okay.
$5 or under. All right. If you have if the winning post is a project that you did, a challenge, then you will win $25 gift card.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Surprise though, because you don't know where it will be to. Okay? I'll do this as long as I can. That's what I'm saying. So if I were you, I'd get it on the ground floor.
That's right. Get in early.
Right?
Yes.
And so I think it's going to be really fun. I just love when I finished the last page, which I did. I mean, look how wonderful, all these crinkly pages full of bits and pieces of my life. I mean, I've got candy wrappers in there of my favorite candy, and I was trying to think, like for instance, at Thanksgiving, has nothing to do with what we're doing, but look, you can see how fun it would be to look back.
Yeah.
At Thanksgiving, Spencer said that his favorite food was dressing his Aunt Glenda's pumpkin roll. And his favorite tradition was eating 2 Thanksgiving dinners.
It's a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have things from the kids in here, and so I think that our crafting journal is going to become that precious to us. By the time we have these challenges, you're not having to think of what to put in there because we have all sorts of jumping off places. And because this is a Mama Linda style, we're going to be real loose with everything, right? You don't have to finish a project to post it as long as it's in process and in your book. Okay?
Okay.
And we're going to talk more about it as time goes of different ways we can use these books, because there's more than just the challenges that I have thoughts on. I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Can you tell?
Yay. Yes, I can tell.
I know. You look frightened. Don't be frightened.
I'm a little frightened.
We're going to do it together.
I'm a little frightened.
We're going to do it together.
Okay.
It's going to be easy because I want it to be easy for everyone else too.
That's good. I like easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay?
All right.
So stay tuned. I'm guessing that we will post. I'm trying to decide if the tutorial should be at the end of the podcast or as a separate thing. What do you think?
I don't know.
It'll be either. Stay tuned to find out.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Do we have anything else?
That is it. We're
What?
complete.
I can't believe it.
Can you even believe it?
I know, right?
We did it.
We did.
First podcast of 2016.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we just want to thank you so much for coming and joining us today and for being a part of our little group here, our knitting and crafting group, and for joining us when we do fun things. And it just means a lot to us when you guys interact with us. So thank you so much. And we want to remind you that you are knitworthy. Bye.
Bye, y'all.